you're sick of catering from the same places every month, it's time to switch things up. Mulberry Barbecue is perfect for business lunches and dinners, family gatherings, holiday parties, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, and so much more. Delivery and full-service options are available, and they can cater for anything from 10 people to 500 people. Call them at 402-937-7114 to look at their menu options and get your catering booked today. Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
On the farm from dawn till dusk, hardworking hands tend to the land, equipment, and the animals. But your hard work deserves a little relaxation too. Visit the Nebraska Ag Expo, December 10th through the 12th at Sandhills Global Event Center in Lincoln. See all the latest ag innovations in livestock and equipment, precision ag, drone, and AI tech, crop inputs, grain storage, and more. Take a break from the daily grind and recharge at the Nebraska Ag Expo. You deserve it. Sponsored in part by Farm Credit Services of America and Ag Direct.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2024 Ford F-150 for $395 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1003769, $395 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, $5,250 to assigning, no security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 11/30/24. See delivery details.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, wanting to thank you all again for your continued service. November is off and running. Check this out. Get up to $12,000 off or 0% financing on select new vehicles. We have great lease specials with new Trax and Trailblazers starting at $299 per month and new Blazer EVs leasing for $399. Great payments, discounts, and of course, 0% financing. So make that short drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All finance with approved credit, leases with $2,500 down.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Strap up your headgear and try not to hit the mat too hard. This is Takedown Tuesday with Nebraska Wrestling head coach Mark Manning.
Facts don't lie. Wrestling is a pretty big deal in the Big Ten, so it's a pretty big deal to us.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by Stevens & Smith Construction. Here is your host, Mark Manning.
It is Tuesday, Takedown Tuesdays on The Ticket. It is DP. Coach Manning has sent over his soldiers, and we'll have an hour's worth of conversation. Greatly appreciate you for joining us and supporting the program. The Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685 is how you can engage. If you've got questions, comments, or otherwise, hit us up on the text line. If you want to follow on the live video streams, Facebook, YouTube, X, and Allo Channel 961, go ahead and jump on the stream so you can see in studio, see these young men. Let's put faces to the names and the records and the achievements and accomplishments. It is more than a Husker thing. It's a human thing. And these young men put in just ridiculous amounts of work. Austin Norman, before we get to introducing these two fine gentlemen, let them know about our fine friends from Stevens & Smith Construction.
Absolutely. Takedown Tuesday with Nebraska Wrestling on 93.7 The Ticket is sponsored by our friends at Stevens & Smith Construction. It's an employee-owned company with nearly 250 employees with over 2,000 years of service combined. They lead the industry as a full-service concrete company specializing in residential and commercial foundations and flat work. Stevenson Smith has locations in Lincoln, Omaha, and Kansas City. You can check him out today at stevensandsmith.com. That's STEPHENS and Smith.com.
Appreciate you, kind sir. It is the number 3 program in the country. And each week we get, we kind of pause to remind folks of how exceptional this wrestling program is at this university. And it is just filled with quality young people who, one, have put in the work to get here, but then maintain the work and show discipline, integrity, and all those things required to be successful in this particular sport. And it's always fun to introduce them to you. And so we can go through. It is a fine day. Actually, I smiled pretty big when Bubba walked in. Had an opportunity to get to know this young man over the course of the last 12 months and his journey into this thing. So is a great story. Let's welcome Bubba Wilson to the show. Bubba, how you doing today, bro?
Good. I just want to start off by saying thanks for having us. Yeah, like you said, we met in an entrepreneurship class with your wife as my head professor, and you came in and gave a guest lecture, and I loved it.
It's always different, and I'll write you a check for that endorsement. Greatly appreciate it. Appreciate it. Next to you, when they talk about newcomers and they said the standard of the program being met, having somebody that has the international success of this young man coming and choosing to be a part of Nebraska wrestling, let's welcome Cam McDaniel. Cam, how you doing, bro?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited.
I'm excited for you. So I'm going to start with you, Cam, because here's the other sport thing kind of resonates with me. And you walked in, and I've watched you wrestle, and I thought, yeah, he was a problem on a football field. So talk to me. You made the choice, and you talked about your love for wrestling, but football is a part of your background, and you come from a coach in your family. Talk to me about you as an athlete and what it means to you and your family.
Yeah. So I grew up mostly in a family of boys. I have a little sister now, but yeah, a lot of rough housing and played a lot of sports, and football was always big in my family. And my dad coached, and my dad played, and he walked on at Ohio State for a year or two before he got married to my mom and had me and my brother. But I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say I was all that crazy on the football field, but I mean, that's always been a big part of my life, especially in like middle school and high school.
Yeah.
But just kind of the area that I was from, I think football is a lot harder to do kind of like by yourself. And you kind of have to have a good team. You kind of have to have maybe, a bigger school. So as much as I enjoyed football and, I tried my hardest, there was probably a point, maybe freshman year, sophomore year, where I was like, I started to enjoy wrestling a lot more and realized kind of like what it was. But it just like my school wasn't good enough for that. And with wrestling, I was able to, drive across the state, 3 times a week and go get partners that I could wrestle with to make myself better. And we had coaches that were coming in like kind of fresh out of college in my high school room that could push me. So as much as I loved football and I had a lot of fun with it, my technique and my skill kind of just started to go a lot more towards wrestling at the beginning of high school. So
is it, and it's funny too, because often people who reach this level of success have parents who are athletes and coaches, and it certainly helps. But there's also the burden of that additional leverage of knowing. For you, burden or blessing to have a dad who was an athlete who kind of pushed you, even when you didn't feel like it, he kind of could nudge you and say, hey, listen, I understand there's still work to do.
I understand that for a lot of people, it is like some people really hate being coached by their parents and stuff. I think younger me hated it, but I transferred my freshman year of high school. I started going to I went to St. Paris Graham, which was a big wrestling school out of Ohio. And I like open enrolled and lived with like a different family and tried to figure it out there. And I was just I basically went there to wrestle. It was a tiny little school, and it just didn't work out. COVID hit, and our state tournament got canceled that year in Ohio because ours was kind of late. And COVID hit, and like I was kind of struck with some depression when I just wasn't at home. I couldn't see my family. I was doing these grinding wrestling practice twice a day. That was the only time in my life I really cut much weight. And after that, I was home with COVID and doing school online, and I kind of made the decision to go back home and wrestle there and figure it out there and become a state champion at my home school, which was not a big wrestling school, not too big at anything. Well, they're on the come up now. They're doing a lot better. But my dad was like, well, we can do it. But it's like, you're just going to have to like, you're going to have to drive across this, like even in high school, you're going to drive across the state and find partners, club partners. My dad went back on the coaching staff to make sure we were having the right partners. And I was blessed to have other coaches come in and help me like train too. But my dad's always been in my corner. And even like, I mean, there was a point where, I mean, I crossed the threshold where I probably had more wrestling knowledge than him, but it was always in my corner. He was always pushing me. I mean, like until the point where I picked it up myself, like just having my dad in my corner was great. And there was just we had spent so much time together going on wrestling trips across the country and like spent so much time together. We like just understood each other, and he understood when he needed to get on my butt and yell at me a little bit. And he understood when he needed to back off. And it was a real blessing to be able to have him and him with his connections and just being able to just get me where I needed to be and be in my corner and push me when I needed to be pushed. Even though at some point I knew more than him, he was still there and he still taught me and he still teaches me now. I'll call him and I'm like, I don't know what to do about this and that. And he'll give me some advice. And I mean, I just think he's super wise, but definitely blessing having my dad in my corner. And I'm glad that some people aren't allowed to be able to have that connection, but that I was able to have that connection, figure it out, and really learn a lot from them, and even now. So,
Bubba, for you, the family aspect, walk us through your support system, like because you can't have the high school and international success, the collegiate success that you're having without a quality network and support and guidance. Let's talk about family for you.
Yeah, so my mom and my dad, they weren't, they played sports in like junior high and a little bit of high school, but right after high school my dad went to work and my mom had cancer, so they didn't really, go on to the college level or anything. But I've also got my little sister and my older sister. My older sister was a college softball player, so she kind of, paved the way and I lived in her shadow for a long time. But my parents are great. They didn't know anything about wrestling. Took home a flyer in kindergarten when I was 4 years old, and we kind of figured out wrestling together. And it was kind of, we're both starting from day one. And my parents were the parents were, they were at my practice every single time, or at least as much as they could make it, which was, almost every time. And they were learning the wrestling skills and the emotional sport of wrestling, with mentality and like how to coach your young kids. And they didn't really take a big coaching role, but just being there for me mentally and to support my journey in any way that they can. And I owe everything to them. I don't come from a lot. My parents, we're more like I guess you could say grew up on the poverty side, and so they kind of made everything work however they had to. So they sacrificed basically whatever they had and everything they had to get me the opportunities that I needed to showcase my skills. So
It
they're the best.
it when I first met you, and I remember telling my wife, I said, that is the most humble, tough guy I've ever met. And thinking of you, watching you, I walked into a lecture and you were sitting up front, which for me as a coach, that tells me so much about the young man. That you know what, you're going to be up front, you're going to be a force. You're not going to be anonymous in the classroom. You're not going to do that. And if anything, I think you're probably harder on yourself than anybody else ever could be. And I wanted to just grab Bubba and say, listen, you're a champion. Never forget that, even in your tough times, because you carry this look in your eye, and it makes me root so hard for you. So let me just say that about you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You know,
very much.
before we get too far, why did you choose Nebraska?
I chose Nebraska because I wasn't highly recruited. I was like maybe 10th in the country by the time I got to like my junior and senior year. Um, I started coming up here maybe like late junior year, early senior year to come and just get in the best room that I can. So I would come up for some of the NWTC practices and get around the college guys and get around the college coaching. It was only 2.5 hours away from my home, so I figured my parents don't have a lot of money, so they're not going to be able to afford to fly to a bunch of home duels and stuff. So Nebraska is the closest college to me that has wrestling, and also we have the greatest coaching staff. We've since I've been here, we've had Maple, Kokish, Snyder, Terrell, Manning. Like we've had McChrystal, Berger, all these guys that stay in the program and coach, and it just seemed like a no brainer to come here. Development of athletes close to home, parents could come watch home duels.
It is a thing. Kim, you had opportunity. And with your international resume, folks, I would imagine that you had choices. Why did you choose Nebraska?
Well, I didn't start really coming onto the scene till late in high school, and I really didn't get reached out to by Nebraska until maybe into my junior year in U.S. Open in Vegas. I met Travell for the first time, and I had a connection with him through Ish Ayub and Des Gartrell were already on their way out here. And so their coach at their school kind of had introduced me into Travell. And so that was kind of how it first started. And I didn't really know exactly who he was. I didn't know. And everyone's like, yeah, this is like Travell. Like he's a big deal. And I was like, oh, okay. Nice to meet you. And then kind of after the tournament and stuff, I looked into him more and realized like, wow, like he was a stud. I was like, all right, so this guy's important. And so we had chatted a little bit, talked about visit and stuff. And then finally in my senior year, I still hadn't committed anywhere yet. And I was kind of trying to figure it out. And I don't feel like we talked for a little while. So I kind of like fell off the scene a little bit with that. And then I reached out to him. I was like, hey, I'm like kind of trying to find a place. And we set up a visit and stuff. And what was actually odd is I came in on like Tuesday for my official visit rather than a lot of guys come in on like Friday and then you do the football game on Saturday. So I came in on a Tuesday, and the biggest thing that I did was we had like a team dinner. Like a bunch of the guys came over. I think we were at Eric Schultz's house, and we like watched NFL football and just like hung out and talked. I met everybody, and that was different than any place I had experienced because it gave me like a family feel. And I'm very family oriented. I spend a ton of time with my family. And so that was like big family feel. And then the rest of the time there, I just kind of like developed and met everybody and met the coaches, and just the way they talked to me and the way they talked about wrestling and like how much it meant to the coaches and how much it meant to everybody here. I was like, that's awesome. And my dad tells a story that when my parents came out like the day before, they were here like Monday, Tuesday, and I was here like Tuesday, Wednesday of that visit. And I guess according to my dad, he told my mom when they were back at the hotel that he thought I was going to go here, and I wasn't even here yet. He said that on Monday, and he just had like a feeling, and so I didn't even know either. Like a lot of people say like, oh, when you get to like the place, like you'll know. It was never that way for me. And then, I just prayed on it and figured it out, and it felt like the right place. And then I feel like ever since, once I committed, I had like, it was just a stress off my back. And then the rest of my senior year, I just was able to wrestle really well. And that was when I first came on like the international scene after that. But, yeah, I'm glad I picked Nebraska. It's been great since I decided I was coming here.
Well, you've had the great start. And I always find that interesting, that the transition between high school and that freshman year, but also in between weight classes. And Bubba, you've bounced all over the place, and it's got to be a little bit more interesting because you have to find a comfort and how your body's processing, how you feel at the various weight classes, and then the competition at the various weight classes. For you, is there much difference in how you approach wrestling at 165 versus 174 or otherwise?
So the reason that I ended up going up to 174 last year was because Antrell was new on the team and we had to wrestle off, and he ended up beating me in a close one. I think it was overtime. And during the match, I broke 2 ribs, and so after I got beat by Antrell, the coaches were like, "Hey, like, go to Navy Classic and we'll see what happens there." So I go to Navy Classic like day before I'm about to go. I was gonna get a cortisone shot in my ribs because I just knew it hurt, but I didn't know like how bad it was or anything. And they were like, "Yeah, you got 2 broken ribs." And I was like, "All right, well, what can we do about that?" And they're like, "Nothing." And I was like, "All right, cool." So I go to the Navy Classic, didn't wrestle too well, lost in the semis, and then ended up losing on the backside. And then I was kind of just, I was out of the lineup, and so I didn't know what to do. I was kind of going crazy in my mind. I'm like, I gotta find a way back into the lineup. I gotta, do anything. I'd kill to be on this team. And so the coach was like, "Hey, how do you feel about going up a weight?" And I was like, I don't really want to because I already shrank my body all the way down to 165. And so, I walk around during the summers like 185. I've been as heavy as like 192. And so, shrinking my body all the way down to 65, it's a multiple month process, like all summer long. It's not just a quick 1 or 2 week, diet. And so I was like, I really don't want to do it, but if that's the only way, then I'll do it. Like, give me a chance and I'll show you I'll fight. So I went up to 174, and I was undersized, just because I had already shrank my body. But um, yeah, there were some matches that I was just outstrength, and I was like, you know what? Like, I'll do my best, to focus on my technique and my cardio, my mindset, and everything else. But sometimes it did come down to pure strength, and so I was like, you know what? I want to go back down to 165 if I get the chance. And Trelly was talking about going down to 57. I was like, man, perfect. Like let's make it work because I wanted to get in the lineup and just help the team last year the best that I can. Individual results didn't really come through for me, but that's whatever. Um, but yeah, now that I'm back down to 65, I feel big, I feel strong, and I think this is just kind of the perfect weight class for my body.
It and Austin, I just want to capture the moment that he, as casually as he could say it, this cat just said, "Yeah, 2 broken ribs, and yeah, no big deal." Austin, every week we have these wrestlers on, and at some point they say a thing that for most of us mere mortals, we can't fathom. Like, listen, all I have to do is talk every day. If I broke 2 ribs this afternoon, I wouldn't come to.
I hit a baseball off the end of my bat once. It hurt really bad.
Like, I just want to point out that these fighters, and I know they're wrestlers, but these are fighters. They're fighters in life. They attack things in a way that most of us can never really wrap our brain around. And it really is some superhuman stuff that with your injuries, we were told, no wrestler is going into a meet at 100%. So you're dealing with that. You're dealing with the weight loss and making weight 2 hours before your match, your first match. So you're not recovered and fully, your body's not at full nutrition level either. And then in a tournament situation, you don't know who you're going to wrestle all the time. So you can't prepare for that. So I'll ask you both how this goes. Cam, tell me, man, even at 195, there's still some adjustment, right, to how you're going to do this thing. And correct me if I'm wrong, but a 17-year-old 195-pounder is not the same as a 23-year-old 195-pounder, correct?
No, definitely not. That's kind of a common theme that I realized. I kind of thought about, but like you see a lot of like freshmen do really well at like 125, but like the amount of like freshmen or even sophomore like NCAA champions at like 197 or a heavyweight, like young, is like was way more rare than lower weight classes. So, and that's just an age thing. But I was blessed to have my gap year last year where I was wrestling senior tournaments. So I was wrestling 30-year-old men. So I got that all out of my system last year. And where, I mean, I'm sure for a lot of people, freshman year in heavyweight classes that are wrestling, I mean, it is intimidating seeing it like a full, like, man, it's like, yeah, you're 18 now, you're 19 now, like, you're a man too. But like, there's still a lot of maturity level, even in college, like from a senior compared to a freshman, like there's a lot. But I was able to get a lot of that out of my system. And one big thing about big guys that are all jacked up and juiced up and have traps up to their ears is they get tired a lot faster than everybody else too. So you always got to keep that in mind. I try to keep that in mind too. The bigger they are, usually the tireder they get.
Oh man, it's gonna be and again, I usually preface these shows with saying there's zero chance I could get to everything I want to get to with these two young men. We'll go to the first break. We'll come back. Takedown Tuesdays, Cam McDaniel, Bubba Wilson, Nebraska Wrestling on a big week where they head to Vegas. We're going to talk about this tournament that's going on this weekend in Vegas and all the schools and programs that are involved and what it means for them. How are they going to process? Because the number of matches that they're going to wrestle, the opponents they're going to face, we don't know. So we're going to ask, how do they set up making weight? How do they keep their body at a high nutrition level? And then the travel, and then, oh, yeah, it's Vegas. So Bubba Wilson, Cam McDaniel, Takedown Tuesdays on the ticket. We'll be right back.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
On the farm from dawn till dusk, hardworking hands tend to the land, equipment, and the animals. But your hard work deserves a little relaxation too. Visit the Nebraska Ag Expo, December 10th through the 12th at Sandhills Global Event Center in Lincoln. See all the latest ag innovations in livestock and equipment, precision ag, drone, and AI tech, crop inputs, grain storage, and more. Take a break from the daily grind and recharge at the Nebraska Ag Expo. You deserve it. Sponsored in part by Farm Credit Services of America and Ag Direct.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through December 3rd is $3 off on bacon, 25% off hanger steaks, 20% off all summer sausage, and 20% off all cheeses. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score big on Kawasaki's all-new Ridge lineup. The Ridge XR, Ridge HVAC, and the Ridge Limited, all built to take on your day with a full factory cab, including heat and AC. Stop by Indian Motorcycle of Lincoln today and rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of December. Save big on their massive selection of side-by-sides, all-terrain vehicles, motorcycles, and power watercraft on end-of-the-year specials store-wide at their new 27th and I-80 location.
Back to Takedown Tuesday with Nebraska Wrestling head coach Mark Manning, powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Takedown Tuesday on the Ticket. DP, Bubba Wilson, Cam McDaniel, and y'all know me. I need to hear them hear this, and then for them to tell me what goes through their mind when they hear this. So, Austin, if you would, and give me some juice. There, for as long as you live, there are songs that and you now carry with you. Bubba, what does it mean? Like the smile on your face, and it's radio, but the smile on your face says this thing means something to you when you hear this fight song. What does it mean to you?
Yeah, I literally just got the chills. The Husker fight song. Just proud to be at a place, that supports their athletes and something that I can come and be a part of. Nebraska, Lincoln has my heart. I love it.
Cam, the first time coming through the tunnel. First time.
I had chills. I didn't know how nervous that I was gonna be. I was like, it can't be that big a deal. Like I've wrestled some pretty big, tournaments and stuff before, but there's nothing like that I've ever experienced in my entire life. And the support and the people here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and they love their sports. And and I was a brand new guy, and they were just as loud for me as they were loud for Caleb and everybody else. People that have been here 4 years, they were just as loud for me, and they don't even know me.
You're the new son. You're the new favorite son. Listen, there is some benefit to being the new toy. Like you are the new shiny thing. And even for Coach Manning in a program stacked with dudes, the first person that he wanted to talk about with me was you. Because he's like, we got one. We got another one, man. And it was a big deal in this thing. It's just cool to watch, to know that, okay, this thing matters quite a bit. And Bubba, you say things that resonate because it shows how much you carry this thing. But there's a brotherhood that happens in wrestling, and it happens specifically at Nebraska wrestling. And I keep trying to find the magic words for it. So I'll ask you to define the brotherhood between Nebraska wrestlers and why you guys are so connected, so supportive, and so one.
The brotherhood, whenever you're constantly going through like a very hard struggle and you're going through very difficult circumstances to try to, achieve something great, you just naturally bond. Like wrestling's a hard sport. We're in the room, we're beating each other up. Sometimes there's a punch thrown. We haven't eaten in 24 hours. We haven't drank any water in 12 hours. So whenever you're suffering with people on your same team, like it really just binds you together and just makes the team super cohesive because we're all a bunch of tough dudes here with the same goal. We all want to win a national title, and we all put in the work. So just whenever you surround yourself with special people like that, they're hard to find in the real world. Like whenever I go to class, sometimes I'm like, this guy's kind of soft, you know. But yeah, whenever I'm surrounded by a bunch of people with the same goal, and suffering together, and then also on the weekends going out and just wrestling people and then winning a lot, it just really brings you close together.
Cam, you get a chance to walk into a new family, and the brotherhood of it, their expectations, their standards, right? Their new rules of engagement, no matter how good you were, where you were, even winning an international championship. Does it come with you, or do you have to earn your place with this group of new brothers?
Yeah, I mean, I would say there's definitely some to be earned. Um, one, to be a likable guy. Don't be a freaking dirtbag.
Right?
You can be the best guy in the world, but if you show up in the room, especially in the wrestling community, and you're a dirtbag to everybody, they're not going to want to accept you very fast. I'd say it probably took a little bit over the summer, but I was nervous. These are big names, and I'd been in here every once in a while to come train. But like, I'm like, these dudes are good. Like, these dudes are good. Like, I want them to like me, you know. But once I got integrated with everybody, I'm like, it does feel like family. And I just started in this lineup, and I didn't know it's like maybe a month before that, like I was going to start. But like the amount of help I've had from everybody at every weight class, and people that aren't starting, and the coaches, and it's not just me either. Like, everybody gets the love, but it's like, nobody in our team is a dirtbag. Everybody, like, great dudes. They just pick each other up. I feel like everybody has a different aspect to bring, that just, like, I could learn something from everybody, and I could learn something from every coach. And I think most of the guys on the team know that, and they'll, like, come over, and you have Brock will come over to the big guy side of the mat and show us something, or have a question, and we'll show him something, and he'll learn from it. And I don't know if, like, it's like that in other rooms, but and then just the team bonding and stuff, and I've just enjoyed the trips. It was really cool when we wrestled in North Carolina. We wrestled at Campbell, and that was an absolute mess. I'm sure you heard about
Outdoors to indoors. Yeah,
it was an absolute mess.
Uh.
And when we finally got that first half done of the Campbell duel, like, half the guys went up and drove up an hour, and then we drove up after. And it was a really nice moment driving up after. It was me and Lenny and Cy in a car with Snyder and maybe one other coach, and like, we're just in there, and like, it was like wrestling, and switch was off during the drive, and we just chatted and talked about food and like whatever. And then we got to North Carolina, it was business again. Took care of business. North Carolina, same thing. Switch was off after that, and just a bunch of dudes getting along, best friends, like, memories I'll never, be able to, like, experience again. So I just love it. It's awesome.
Talk to me about Thursday, Friday, because for most of us mortals, it's a food holiday. Like, that's just a get down. But y'all have work to do. You have responsibilities. How did you handle Thanksgiving?
For me, with Thanksgiving, I'm immortal too. I know I'm gonna eat a little extra. I know my mom's gonna cook up some, some nice dressings and casseroles and stuff. And so I take the approach of, just increase a little bit of activity. Don't be a couch potato. Don't go home over Thanksgiving, stuff your face, and just lay up and just not do anything all day. So, my little sister and I, we ran a little 5K, a little turkey trot.
You see, stop it. I just right there. Austin, have you ever run a little 5K?
I haven't run a little 5K, a big 5K, a medium 5K. I have not.
That is impressive to have that sort of character, to be able to say, hey, listen, responsibility, mission over everything. I need to go and do this. But tell me about the plate, because everybody's ideal Thanksgiving plate is a little different. So, Bubba, what was the deal?
I got a lot of dark meat turkey,
Uh-huh.
tons of mashed potatoes, I crave mashed potatoes all the time. Turkey, turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy. My mom makes a crazy sweet corn. You got to mix that up in the mashed potatoes too. And then usually she'll have a little roll or something, and then I gotta have a slice of pumpkin pie.
Did you top the pie or just pie as pie?
Yeah, I had a little whipped cream.
That's that's my dude. Okay, I had to. Cam, talk me through Thursday for you.
Oh man, I stayed here this year. I just got here, so I wasn't when we had a couple days off. You can try and run home, and a lot of people on the team right now are within driving distance, but I just didn't want to bother with it. I stayed home, and like was just said a little bit ago about the family aspect. I mean, Manning held a Thanksgiving for the guys that were still here.
Yeah.
So the people that do like the training tables, the food for all of us, they prepped like a Thanksgiving for us, and so I wasn't too worried about it. I can kind of eat what I want.
Yeah.
But I mean, what I like to do when I'm home, and I'm spoiled because I get all this home cooking during Thanksgiving time. So it was like a little bit different, it was a little bit catered. But when I'm home, I mean, I get everything, and I kind of like to mash it all together.
You're
I don't
that
know if I'm
dude.
not being my older brother. He's a big dude too. We mash it all together, and it's great.
So it's just like a Thanksgiving pie. It's just a mash of everything. What goes into this
stuff? I mean, you can't mix like cranberry sauce
Right.
with like mashed potatoes, right?
Yeah.
But you got like your mashed potatoes. I mean, sometimes we got like some like chicken noodles. I think that's what it is. Chicken noodles. Throw the turkey on there. Put the gravy over top. I mean, you could even put some green bean casserole into that if you're feeling crazy.
Uh-huh.
You could do that too. And then eat all that together, and then like you got like a roll on the side. Like
sop it up.
Sop it up. Get all the gravy. Finish the plate. Get all the gravy up with the roll. But yeah.
You wrestlers are just it's a different deal. From the text line, and it actually on it connects to something else. The one Eric, he says he was probably wearing a garbage bag sweatsuit while he was running. But we were talking about the weight loss process and the boundaries that are in play now. Like there are certain things that you can't do anymore. Old school wrestlers, we would wear any variety of things, several layers. We'd go into the sweat box and lose weight. And they said, okay, these are things that you cannot do now, right? So what are the rules for weight loss for those that don't know?
One, sauna's off limits. You cannot use a sauna during season because there was some wrestlers that unfortunately died in the sauna trying to make weight. Other than that, I think it's kind of up to you, right?
Yeah.
Do you know of any other rules?
Other than I don't think you can take like fat burner pills.
That part,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, you got to be real specific with like supplements.
You can probably still take diuretics, but that's just a wild thing to do.
But that doesn't really help you, right? Because you're going to pay. Yeah. You're going to pay. Like the benefits don't outweigh, as they say. The juice is not worth the squeeze when it comes to doing that. Each of you individually. So, Bubba, for you, your walk around weight versus what you're able to max out at. You set boundaries for yourself in season and out. What are those boundaries for you? That hey, listen, I don't want to get too far out of range. And then week of meet, I want to be within a certain range. What are those numbers for you?
Most of the time during season, I'm never more than 10 pounds over. Thanksgiving was a little crazy, but most of the time 10 pounds over because like I was saying earlier, I start my cut in August. Like I don't start right before season. I start in August and then I count my calories, making sure I'm losing, the right amount of body fat to get down to where I need to get down to. And this year I had to lose some muscle too. So I knew that. So I knew it was, a lot of fasting and stuff. But yeah, right now, like 10 pounds, I kind of like to hang out around 175 because I know the last 10 pounds are just water weight.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of, 2 days of just not drinking anything and just eating. I typically eat pretty clean. But yeah, just 2 days of like, really watching the water intake, maybe that take it down to like a bottle and then, go through 2 workouts and I can lose, the 10 pounds there. But yeah, it's not too bad of a cut, once you get down. It's just shrinking your body to get down within the 10 pounds. that is kind of tough.
Cam, what is it for you walking around? You know, you're going to weigh in at 197. What do you walk around at, and then what are your boundaries?
I mean, I'm just trying to eat as clean as I possibly can. I haven't wrestled this hard, this consistent in a while, but my last year has been a lot of like train for 2 months to wrestle a big tournament. So I have a couple different injuries right now, and I'm really trying to get over. So I'm just trying to eat healthy as possible. My weight's pretty good. Once I make down a weight, like over the summer, I was 220, like I was big, and I was wrestling a freestyle weight class, so that was a lot heavier. But like once I made the 197, like once or twice, my body really is able to adapt. And so right now, I mean, I'm just trying to eat clean, and I can tell when I have something that I shouldn't have. I can tell myself my energy level and just my mood on little things like that when you eat so clean for such a long time. And like once you eat one little Wendy's burger one night, and the next morning, like you can feel it, like it doesn't, like the energy's different. So I'm really just trying to eat super lean, and just trying a couple of different foods to get like inflammation out, and stay as healthy as possible because it's just getting started. So I gotta try and keep everything as strong as I can throughout the whole year.
So before we go to break, about 20 seconds each, define clean eating, because it means different things to different people. So Bubba, for you, eating clean, what does it mean to you?
Tons of protein. If I'm gonna eat carbs, it's gonna be, I'm gonna choose rice or, fruit with yogurt. I try to just, do the 80-20 rule so I don't go too crazy, 80% clean. And then, if it's a Saturday after a tournament, I can snag a burger. I can afford that. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cam, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I agree with Bubba on the protein. Really getting a lot of protein in, and not just protein from like protein shake and stuff, but a lot of it, from steak and from meat and from chicken. A lot of that. I mean, when you're doing carbs, rice, potatoes, clean carbs. I really try and stay away from fried foods. I mean, some fat here and then's good, but I'm personally me right now. I'm trying to stay away from the fried foods, and then lots of fruit and veggies are 0 calories. So at the beginning of the week, you can eat as much of those as you want, really. But yeah.
Well, we are, we'll go to break, and when we come back, I do want to talk to them about Vegas. They head to Vegas this weekend. Matter of fact, all three of us are heading to Vegas this weekend, and I will see them. I want to thank the folks from Stevens and Smith Construction. It's an employee-owned company with nearly 250 employees with over 2,000 years of service combined. They lead the industry as a full-service concrete company specializing in residential and commercial foundations and flat work. Locations in Lincoln, Omaha, and Kansas City. Check them out at Stevens and Smith. That's PHEN, StevensandSmith.com. DP with Bubba Wilson, Cam McDaniel, Takedown Tuesdays on the Ticket. We'll be right back.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens and Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens and Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens and Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com, because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through December 3rd is $3 off on bacon, 25% off hanger steaks, 20% off all summer sausage, and 20% off all cheeses. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
League One Volleyball is coming to Omaha this January. Featuring Olympic medalist Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Arantes, Love Omaha Volleyball is Omaha's newest pro team. The inaugural season will showcase some of the world's best volleyball players, from medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars, with the action kicking off on January 24th at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Visit lovb.com for more information and to purchase tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Couple Chevrolet GMC, wanting to thank you all again for your continued service. November is off and running. Check this out. Get up to $12,000 off or 0% financing on select new vehicles. We have great lease specials with new Trax and Trailblazers starting at $299 per month, and new Blazer EVs leasing for $399. Great payments, discounts, and of course, 0% financing. So make that short drive down 144th Street or check us out online at couplecars.com. You'll be glad you did. All finance with approved credit, leases with $2,500 down.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Who wants free diamonds? This holiday season, as a thank you for shopping with us, Sartor Heyman Jewelers is giving you free diamonds. Now through December 6th, receive a pair of sparkling diamond stud earrings, a stunning diamond pendant, or a gorgeous diamond tennis bracelet for free with your qualifying purchase. We only have a limited number to give away, so once they're gone, they're gone. Don't wait on this one. Visit Sartor Heyman Jewelers, where your gift shopping shines brighter. In Lincoln at South Point Mall, downtown, and in Grand Island on State Street.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2024 Ford F-150 for $395 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1003769, $395 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, $5,250 to assigning, no security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 11/30/24. See delivery details.
Back to Takedown Tuesday with Nebraska Wrestling head coach Mark Manning, powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
They head to Las Vegas, and it's a big tournament. I was trying to check some of the teams that are going to be there, and we're with Bubba Wilson and Cam McDaniel. Here's some of the teams that are going to be in Vegas alongside the Huskers, and some of them they're familiar with because they've wrestled against them. Navy amongst them. North Carolina State will be there. Michigan will be there. Harvard will be there. Arizona State, which is a pretty strong program, will be there. The Naval Academy Northwestern will be there. Ohio State will be there. Oregon State will be there. Purdue, another Big Ten team you're going to see. Virginia Tech with a couple of standout performers. Stanford, West Virginia, and Wyoming, and not even mentioning Northern Iowa. So this is a deep tournament. Take me through, Bubba. How do you prepare for a 2-day tournament like this, a 3-day tournament like this, where all bets are off? You really don't know what to expect. It really is you competing against you, and it doesn't matter who the opponent is.
Yeah, I feel like it's for some people it's hard not to be neurotic about, the competition that you're gonna face. A lot of people, they like to really focus on one person and kind of study their film and stuff. But with a tournament like this, you're gonna see people from Oklahoma State, good Big 12 team. I kind of like to prepare my mind for war. and just know that I'm going to go into a bloodbath and just I know I'm going to get beat up. I know I'm going to, be sore. I'm going to be hungry. I'm going to be thirsty. Um, but it's the one opportunity for us to showcase our skills because practice is way harder than the competition. We practice for 2 hours, and we only get to go out there and showcase our skills for 7 minutes. So, I'm just really excited to go out there and compete. Our team's done very well at Vegas. Every time I've gone, we've won. We've won it 3 times so far since I've been here, and I'm just excited. I want to go out there, really put it on some people, score a lot of points, make my coaches happy, make my teammates happy, and come home with a trophy.
Cam, for you, we talk about competition, but elite athletes tend to compete with their own version of themselves. It really, like, you don't know, or do you? Do you know all the 197s that are coming? Do you pay attention, or do you not care? Is this Cam versus Cam?
I wish I could say that I didn't know who was there, and I was just full on. Like, I didn't know, and I was just going to beat everybody. It didn't matter. But there's definitely a mental part to all of it. And, I know who's going to be there, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't. And it's easier saying it out loud than it is to say it in my own head. But I do as best I can, especially now that I'm in college and the rankings are bigger. Like, everybody got a number next to your name. He's from this school. There's not it's not high school where, it's oh, well, this school, there's one guy good from this school and you don't really know. It's I know, my coaches know, most of my teammates probably know too, but it's, I try to tell myself, doesn't matter. My best wrestling, the season just started. I mean, I'm excited. I know that I can do it, but I also know that I could slip up and not. And me heading into this weekend this early, my first time there, I'm just, whatever happens, happens. And I'm going to do everything that I can. And I'm going to learn from it. And if I win it, I win it. I'm planning on winning it. And if I don't, I don't. But I'm going to learn from it. And I'm just going to have that mentality of no, it doesn't matter. I know who's going across the mat, but if it's my best wrestling, he can't stop what I'm doing. He may have the most outstanding high crotch, in all of collegiate wrestling, right? But maybe I have the most outstanding single leg or the most outstanding sprawl. Is this weekend? Maybe he had it last weekend, but I'm gonna tell my this weekend's my weekend, so I'm giving it all I got.
You guys are amazing ambassadors for the sport, for the university, for the program. Coach Manning was excited about you two coming through. I now understand why. Greatly appreciate it. Let them know, Bubba. Let them know how to find you on social media, and then if they want to get involved in the NIL portion of it, they can find you on Open Doors. But how can they find you?
Yeah, I'm at Bubba Wilson 165 on all social media platforms, and that's probably the best way to reach me.
Cam, you have one of the great handles on all of sports media. Let them know.
Yep. All right. I'm at Big Papa Cam. Go give it a follow. Yep.
Yes, sir. Big Papa Cam. Listen, I appreciate you both. I'll see you in Vegas this weekend. And go Big Red. Don't go anywhere. Tuesdays are fantastic. Teammates Tuesday, Des Moines and Ashton. And they've got a friend from Link to Literacy. Tiffany Childress will join them at 5.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth 90.